Oh, snap. Check out the countdown. Oh, snap. That means ropes is going down. Let's get it. Now, if you ask me, Ty, why is Off the Top Rope Thursday night gold theme night? Come on now. I can tell you, in Capital Championship Wrestling, they can tell you. It's a Scott Hall Scott. This night will be an episode you definitely want to watch on Thursday night because the Global Fighting Champion, Rebecca Scott, joins Off the Top Rope, talking up with your boy Ty Asbury because the champion is dominating the wrestling world. And all her opponents better be aware because she's on a golden streak. Rebecca Scott is live.
The Ropes Media. Tyrod Asbury. Yeah. Tyrod Asbury. Yeah. Every chance you get to hear us, you clear us. Just the time on the radio. My opinion's my opinion.
What is up, everybody? It's Thursday night. You know what's going down. 8 o'clock, top of the hour. I'm your boy Ty Asbury. Off the Top Rope is live all over the world. I'm going to say this. One lady, she is talented. She's doing big things. Of course, I'm talking about big things. And there's a reason why she's doing big things. She has that strap over her shoulder. I'm talking with tonight live on the show. Of course, she's the Global Fighting Champion from Capital Championship Wrestling, Rebecca Scott.
That's
Rebecca,
right.
how you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
You know, Rebecca, I got to say, I've been doing my research. I've been like, man, she's doing big things. I mean, you're a champion. You're traveling. You're doing this. You're just doing that. I saw you got a movie coming up. We'll talk about that later on. Like, I gotta say, like, man, you're like that Energizer Bunny. You're keeping it going.
I'm trying, man. It's a tough world out here. I'm doing my best.
If I'm not mistaken, we talked a little bit today before we came on the air, and you were just traveling recently. We were touching base about the show, and yeah, that's traveling is like your thing. I mean, it was like a wrestling show you're traveling for. I mean, because it's like, man, she can't catch a break. But I think that's a good thing because you know a lot about traveling.
Yeah. See, well, the thing is not only do I travel for wrestling, but I travel for work because I'm a flight attendant as well. So that's what I was traveling doing when I'm rarely ever home, honestly. Because when I'm not traveling for wrestling, I'm working and I'm flying. I just got back yesterday from California. So lots of cool stuff coming up with both jobs, right? With wrestling and flying. I think I'm going to Paris at the end of the month. But I'm always, my suitcase always stays packed because I'm always on an airplane.
But you know, the thing about it too is that you traveling so much. It's just like, how can you adapt? I mean, you're traveling from one job, but you're traveling for your wrestling job. So it's like you keep your work gear, but you keep your other work gear, which is wrestling. So, but I would think wrestling, maybe some people is not work, but I can tell to you, it's like what you love to do because you're a champion.
Yeah. Yeah. And you put a lot into it too. You know what I mean? Like I love to wrestle. I would do it all the time if I could. But you put a lot of work into it, especially driving, like, you know, the road trips to go to the different shows. When I can, I fly. And if not, you know, sometimes I'm driving 4 or 5 hours to get somewhere and then driving home the same night. It is a lot of work and it does pull me away a lot from being home, but it's just what I love to do. I love being out in the world and doing different things. So it works out for me.
Well, and the biggest thing too is that, you know, I've learned, I can't say this about like a million times. I've learned that life's too short. Do what you love to do, have fun, travel the world if you can, and just have fun and don't be stuck in like that bubble. So, but
that's right.
You know, that's definitely just live and live large. But you know a lot about 32 traveling 32 countries, which I think is badass. But I'm gonna say for me to you got 32 reasons why you are the greatest wrestler today, what you're doing. But for fans who don't know you, give fans maybe 3 reasons why, hey, come see a Rebecca Scott match. Tell these fans why, hey, come check me out.
I think my wrestling and my in-ring stuff really speaks for itself. I've always been very scrappy. So anytime you come see one of my shows, it's going to be entertaining. I might lose my cool a little bit, but I feel like we all do that sometimes. But it's just you see somebody, you want to see somebody who genuinely loves the sport of professional wrestling, then I am your go-to, because anytime I'm in that ring, I love it and I'm having so much fun with it. No matter how angry I get, I'm competitive, but and it definitely shows in my wrestling, especially dating back to when I just got my baby, my championship back. It's how I have to wear it, but if you want to, it's just, I'm not a hard sell. If you like professional wrestling and you want to be entertained and you're okay with a little blonde scrappy girl running around the ring and potentially yelling at you, then I'm your girl.
That's right, because like I mean, the way it sounded, I mean, I'd want to have Rebecca Scott on my team, and if you're, I don't know, you strike me as a type where you could be on my team, but if you cross that line, I think you're screwed. Pretty much, don't piss me off. So like, and I can understand that, because too, you being the champ, the person that's your tag partner, you're probably thinking, and they may want to stab me in the back because I got that bullseye on my back. Because you're a champion, you're like, everybody wants to come after you. So
yeah, well, and I don't just train in professional wrestling. I also train with one of the best in the world, David Branch. I train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and mixed martial arts. So I'm well-rounded. So when people make me angry, I definitely don't hesitate to let them know that they made me angry.
Now, speaking of wrestling, you've come a long way, and just to think, you started doing this. It's pretty much 2020. You started doing this, and look at 2023. Here we are now. Like, who'd ever you think, like, in all these years, like just in that gap, like you be holding like gold. I mean, it doesn't happen for people for a very long time, but for you, promoters, everybody must have seen something in you, especially Capital Championship Wrestling. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, she's deserving a gold. Like, do you think about that? Like, look at all this time, like that box. Like, I've accomplished a lot.
I think about that all the time. And it wasn't until December of 2020 that I started wrestling. So it was really on the, right there on the brink of 2021. And I reflect back a lot about my third match ever, right? My third match ever was at AEW Dark, and I was going against Ty Conti, and I was terrified. I don't think that I should have been there. It was way too soon. And I know that other people didn't think I should be there, but there was nothing I could do. I was given the opportunity, so I had to make the best out of it. Right.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I'm very grateful for in my career is the fact that I have been consistently put in these sink or swim situations. So I'm learning faster than most people would. I'm kind of being thrown to the wolves, and it's like, well, you either do or you don't. And I don't think failure is an option. So I love that I'm kind of even with jiu-jitsu, I'm training with the best people in the world, and I'm just this little dainky thing. So I'm like, I can only get beat up so many times before it's my turn to start doing it. So with everything combined, I just found a love in professional wrestling, and I just took it. I'm taking it as far as I can take it. And it's just been beyond like anything I could have ever imagined. I'm so grateful for the opportunities I've had in such a short period of time. And Capital Championship Wrestling, Marcello, he saw something in me when I was that little flight attendant gimmick, and he was like, we've got to switch some stuff up. And it was a great thing that happened, because then I was able to get out of it, because I am a flight attendant, but I don't want that to also transition as much into my wrestling stuff.
Yeah, I know it did at first, but
yeah, but it's a small part of who I am. There's so many different sides of me. So I want to showcase some of the other stuff that I have. So when I got away from the flight attendant stuff a little bit, I was able to do that, and my personality was able to come out a little bit more. I'll always have that side of me, and everybody's favorite flight attendant can always make a comeback. But right now, I like what I'm doing, and I'm beyond thankful for Capital Championship Wrestling.
Well, I've seen some of your early stuff when you were the flight attendant, when you're starting out now. So now I've seen, and this is in a good way, I'm complimenting you. This is like a good way where you're vicious, and I love that. It's just like, man, like it's like that makes me want to buy a ticket and come see you. So I was like, man, and I got to say this. You with the vicious attitude, we all know in wrestling, you know that draws heat. So Rebecca, I made this clip for you, and I was like, I got to bring this on the show because she's gonna love it. When I seen this, I was like, I'm digging it. So let's take a look.
Little girl gone, got a gun from a gangster. Run, little girl, bang. Say that again, I didn't quite hear ya. Mess with the wrong bitch in the wrong era. I've been a walk and I got my badge of honor. Honey, I've changed so much since I last saw ya. Hands on my head, help every day. You ding, hold my earrings for my debut. Cause I pack a punch back into a quarter. Come at me, don't.
Now, when I saw that, I was like, man, that's how you draw heat, and like it's like the whole arena like was laid out, and like I love it, and like not only that, I could tell the kendo stick is also your best friend beside your title. So like I think when you made the transition from flight attendant into what you are now, I think you made that right choice. I mean, I know you love the flight attendant thing, but all those things are inside you. Like if that makes sense, like they're all you. And I know you would know because you've been doing this for a long time now. All your character is you, what you do.
Yeah.
So, you know,
It really is. It really is. It's as me as it gets. I've always been, a little like I said, a little scrappy thing, and I've always had like some anger issues, but I've managed to control them as an adult. And I think being in the ring, I can kind of get it out a little bit, and so I don't hold the the monster inside as much now, and it's kind of cool because it's working out, and it's just me.
Yeah. and it seems like too for you is that I always say first and foremost for people who've gotten the opportunities like you have. I mean, you've earned and worked hard for it. I think it's people pretty much like yourself is that, people who come from humble like yourself and have worked hard. And like I said, I keep saying this a whole bunch of times, you've come a long way. And the biggest thing of all too, you sit there with a title, you've been, like I said, a lady. And back then, you didn't see a lot of women sitting there with a world title. So like, that's a big thing too, because it was like a male dominated, profession back then. But like, is that something you see too? I'm sure a lot of, the ladies, you guys are like, do y'all talk about that? Like, oh, I'm champion. I mean, this didn't happen back then. Is that a thing that pretty much is talked about within, the women's division?
I think so. I think that every female wrestler is very grateful for the evolution of women's wrestling. It was not really something that a lot of people took seriously before, and now one of my favorite shows in the world are all female promotions, and it's not because like I'm a man hater or anything like that. It's just sharing the locker room. Normally, if I go to a show, I'm sharing the locker room with like a few other girls if there's other female matches, but not a lot. But when I go to the all female promotions, it's just a completely different environment, and everybody gets along. It's like we can use the locker room to kind of for our own creative space, and we always end up like catching up with each other because again, there's not a lot of full locker rooms with all female talent. But I think that's one of the things that we always talk about is how we always bounce ideas off of each other, but also like how far we've come, and we're grateful for the people that have paved the way for this. But women's wrestling is a draw now, and it's not what it used to be. And I don't think any female wrestler takes that lightly. I think that everybody is very grateful for the strides that have been taken for women's wrestling.
That's right. And I got to say this on this Thursday night, and if you're the fact of taking things lightly, if you're taking lightly of not watching Off the Top Rope, hey, be serious. Watch this episode right now because Rebecca Scott is live on the air, of course. If you want to ask her something, leave it in the comment box. I'll be glad to read it on the air because she'll be glad to answer because, like I said, the Global Fighting Champions is here in the house. She got the belt on her shoulder. She's doing big things in wrestling. That's right. She's, like I said, she is ready to go. And, of course, she's ready to fight on after this episode tonight airs here on Off the Top Rope. So definitely we got Rebecca Scott live here on this Thursday night episode of Off the Top Rope. Now, Rebecca, of course, on top of, you said you're really proud of all the female promotions out there. Capital Championship Wrestling, they're a big deal. They're rocking it. Now, if a aspiring, lady said, Rebecca, I'm struggling. I got to go to promotion. And you took her and said, hey, come here, come with me. Like, what would you tell her? Hey, walk through that door, Capital Championship Wrestling. What would you tell her?
Yeah, I actually have done that a few times for
Wow, really?
some of the newer girls getting into wrestling. All once there's been a few that I've just taken and just let them, hang out backstage, or just recently I've connected them with Marcello to become, commentary, like, or different things. I think as me, who I am, in the ring, I'm one person because that's the competition, right? We both signed up for it. That's what we're doing. We're fighting, and I'm not holding back. But in the real world, I want to help elevate anybody I can, and I want to be that person. If somebody says, "Hey, what do I do?" or I don't have all of the connections. I don't have a lot of connections. But what I do have, I will always share with people that are just starting out, or just people that are maybe just looking for that right thing, or the right place. I think that having a home promotion is everything, somewhere you can go to feel comfortable, because there's a lot of times you walk into a locker room and you don't know many people, if any. And so for me, having Capital Championship be my home promotion, it's big because of the locker room, because of the girls that I get to see every time I go there. And we all leave it in the ring, and then, we're fine afterwards. But I think that bringing new people in is such an important thing, and it's not as scary. And the worst that somebody can say is no, and if that happens, then that happens. We've all been told no. That's not a big deal.
That's it, and that's a cool story. And I'm glad you took that person, said, "Hey, come with me." And it's just, and that, Rebecca, would sound like in pro wrestling, like, help somebody. I mean, don't be stingy. Say no, because you think later on I can maybe come back and bite you in the butt.
Oh yeah, it definitely could. But also, like, I can't control anybody else's actions, right? Like,
Yeah.
if they want to, gatekeep secrets, or, lock other people out, like, that's on them. But I can control my own actions. And I don't want, karma to come back. And that's embarrassing. You don't want to not believe in somebody and then have them come back and be everything, that you wish you could be. I don't want that karma. I'm different than everybody else, so I don't know, like, the competition portion of it. Just it hasn't set in my brain. Maybe it's just hasn't set yet, but I just don't have that part.
That's cool. Like I said, you just taking the person's hands, say, hey, I'm gonna introduce you to Capital Championship Wrestling, and hey, that's what you do. Now, of course, we talked about a lot about Capital Championship Wrestling, and for you, as of late, it could have been 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I know you got a lot of them, but has there been a person as of late who's been like a influence to you, and you're like, man, I've never seen this person as an influence before, like maybe in wrestling?
I will say that somebody that I have gotten close to recently would be the international pop star, Miss Becca. um, so, well, B3CCA, I guess. And I think one of the things that we talk to each other about our matches, and we'll give each other feedback and stuff like that, which I think is really cool and important, being in pro wrestling. But also we bounce ideas off of each other, and I think we have the same sense of humor. And I think she's a phenomenal athlete. She's a wonderful wrestler, and she's vicious as heck. And I definitely respect that. But she's one of the ones that when she gives me advice or tells me something, I definitely listen, a little bit closer during those times.
Cool stuff. Yeah, I mean, and I have seen on Twitter, I was like, man, like I said, maybe you and her as a tag team. I don't know. You'll have another belt. Yeah. So, like I said, maybe, yeah. Now, speaking of talent, Becca is one. Now, this next clip, I'm sure you know this lady quite well too, and you may say, oh yeah, you may say, yeah, her. So let's go to this clip now. Now, would you say she's the one? We all know, Billy Stark. So she's another one. I know you and her have killed it before, equally. I think equal. So when it comes to her, you got to put the overtime in when you face Billy Starks, because he's another one that you got to watch out for.
Absolutely. Billy is Billy's unique in the way that she's 18, right? She just graduated high school this
Yeah.
week. And I had the pleasure of meeting Billy when she was 16 and we wrestled. And it was just, I think it was maybe 3 months after I had started wrestling. And she whooped my butt up and down that ring. And I couldn't keep up. And so to come back a couple years later and for us to have the matches that we've had it's special to me. But also just Billy as a person, I can't say enough great things about. No, she's never going to be good enough of a human to take my baby from me again. That was a one-time deal. But as an athlete and as a person, she's going to amount to such amazing things. And I don't think it could happen to somebody better because she's a great leader. And she's nice to everybody in the locker room. She's got this brain for professional wrestling that is unmatched. Honestly, the way that she can put stuff together it's honestly insane to me. So I'm really grateful for our matches. Every single one has been hard hitting, and every time I have gotten out of the ring with her, I felt like I've been hit by a car. But I think
got to take a Tylenol. So
yeah, I think that's a mutual thing, and we just go in there and we leave it all in there, and I think that speaks for itself.
That's cool stuff. I mean, like I said, she just graduated. I mean, she's got. I mean, you and yourself too. I mean, don't forget about the great Rebecca Scott. I mean, you ladies got the ceiling to reach, and the sky's the limit. And I can't wait for what the future holds for all you guys, because I'm definitely proud of what you guys are doing. Now, of course, I mean, wrestlers, you guys think different. Every wrestler is different, but what would your definition be of a wrestler? I mean, somebody may say, "Oh, well, this wrestler, big muscles. This one, whatever." What would your definition be of a wrestler, or there really isn't such a thing?
I don't know if there really is such a thing. Like I think that one of my coaches used to always say, "You have to look like you fight professionally," and that's it. You just look like you fight professionally. But I think that it's just like it's not necessarily about a look. It's about your charisma, your person, like who you are and how you come out there. If you can tell if somebody has been in a fight or not.
Oh, yeah.
And when we're in that ring, it's a fight. So I think it's about what you bring, like your in-ring ability, more than any type of body shape or look. You look at people like take Ricochet, right? He can do amazing things, and he's got that like superhero build. But then you look at Keith Lee, and he's just, but he can do everything the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This guy's doing backflips. He can do stuff that I can't do. So I really don't think that there's like an actual body type, and I don't know that I would fit into that body type either. I think it's just what you can do with your body, and I think everybody should look how they want to look and put in the work to make sure that they're happy within themselves. But other than that, I don't think it matters.
Now, we talked about Keith Lee, big guy, Ricochet, small guy. Now, you said there are certain moves like, nah, no, not for me. But is there a move that you've been like, should I do it? Is there a move that you've been wanting to try? You're like, I don't know.
There's a few of them, and I don't want to give one away because I've just started working on it to be my finish. And I think it's going to be really impactful and also a little mean. Yeah. But I'm 5'1", so I sometimes have to use other things to my advantage. Slamming somebody's head into the mat, I think, has worked well for me. But there's also a few submissions that I really want to work into. I want to be a student of of the craft forever. So I constantly want to improve myself. So really anything. I need to do a couple more of the power moves. So that's what I've been working on.
Well, I can't wait to see these new moves. They sound like the holy shit moves. Yeah. So, but now, Rebecca, this is your first time off the top rope, and off the top rope we have fun. Like I guess we have laughs, everything. So this next segment, I think you're gonna love it, and I got to pick your brain on this one. You ready for it?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, let's go. Let's rock and roll with this one. I can find the clip, and here we go.
Damn, Ty. That's good.
Good. So let's go to the clip now. Okay, the way you look at it, Rebecca, we all know. Like I said, like I see a brawl or whatever. Now, if you had to pick one match, your own gimmick match, just for you, what would it be? Never been done before.
Like I would get to pick my opponent.
No, your match, your own gimmick match for
Oh
like,
my.
yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Can you tell me what your pick would be first so I can decide? This is a tough
I
one.
don't know. I'm about to ask you. It's I don't know.
Right.
See, you got that striker like beat. I don't know. Like, I think your match should be some kind of like street fight. I mean, you got that like street. But see, I don't know. I'd stomp myself on this one, but
I would like to do so. One, I'm gonna always stay away from thumbtacks. I think that is the grossest thing in the world for me because I can't I gotta stay away from those. So that would be a stipulation in my match. Yeah, I don't care. Call me a weenie. I'm not doing it. You can smash me over the head with whatever you want, but those thumbtacks every time I see them, it irks me. I would like maybe like a TLC match. That would be pretty fun.
okay.
I think
Yeah.
that I could jump off some ladders. I could do some cool stuff with that. I think that would be cool.
Well, you got to add your kendo stick too. I mean, maybe.
Oh
like,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm deadly with that kendo stick. I will
We've
tell
seen
you.
that,
Every
yeah.
time I get one, I end up breaking it the first time I use it. So maybe I'm not using it right. But I do know that if I were to ever pick my opponent for a street fight or TLC match, it would be hands down Nikki Duke. Cage match. I want her in the cage. I don't want anybody to be able to get me off of her.
Oh man, that'd be bloodshed. Well, you could have like a cage match with kendo sticks like strapped or to each of the sides of the ring. So
There you go.
Bruises and blood, the BB bruises and blood. So yeah, I would definitely pay to see that. But you get A+ for that, so I give it to you. But, now, Rebecca, thanks. You got a lot going on as we end out this episode of Off the Top Rope here on Thursday night in prime time. We call it Slam and Promote on the show. So we got 3 sections for you to slam. The first one is, of course, Capital Championship Wrestling. So if you got anything going on for them, let us know because we got the evolution of Rebecca Scott.
Yes, June 12th is coming up, the evolution of Rebecca J. Scott. And this is just basically a compilation of where I've gone the past few years and kind of how I started off as, that flight attendant gimmick and how, just the transition of it. So it's got some pretty cool matches in there, some stuff that I'm really proud of. But also you watch it and you can just watch the entire evolution of my character development, which I think is pretty cool.
Like I said, when I saw that, I was like, man, she's just like, that made me proud to see that. And something else I'm proud of too. I was like, I'm gonna plug this for her and definitely let us know what's up with this. It looks like a cool thing. Now that right there, it's like, whew. You got something big coming up with that. If you want to share it to the audience about, you got something good grooving with that.
Yeah, we're working with Astray Productions, and we're actually creating we're in the middle of creating and filming a feature film, and it's about a female wrestler, yours truly, and just all of the things that you go through as a performer and what you do, and it's going to be so magical. We just chose our next film date, so it's going to be stuff like outside of the ring, which I've never had really a whole lot of interaction with acting or anything like that. So this is going to be challenging, but it's going to be so cool for me to be a part of it. And again, how cool is it that I get to just be myself in it, you know?
That's what, like I said, I mean, I think, hey, no, when it comes to acting, just be you and hey, you got this, girl. Don't even worry about it.
Mhm.
You got this. And you said October. I was like, around my birthday. So it's like, wow, man, happy birthday to me. This is a cool thing for you, as well as slam and promote too. Like I said, taking her talents too. Let everybody know about this. I was like, okay, all right. So you traveling.
Yeah, I'm going to Spain. My first international wrestling show will be in Barcelona, Spain, and I don't think it gets better than that. I'm so excited and I can't wait.
Man, like I said, would you ever go over to Spain? Hey, you can bring some black and blue marks over to the opponents over there. So good stuff. And I wanted to save this last part for last because I have a dog myself, so I want to share this with everybody. And everybody jump on this. And Rebecca, let everybody know you're a champion outside the ring for doing this. Let everybody know how they become a champion, to a life. This is a big deal.
Yeah, so I partner with Percy's Paws Rescue, and what we do is we go to the other shelters that are overfilling, and just by law, it doesn't matter the state you're in, they only could have so many dogs in their facility. So the dogs that are in jeopardy of being euthanized, we take them out and we foster and find adoptable homes for them. Percy's Paws Rescue, Jules there is amazing, and the work she does is honestly so important. So everybody, please check that out because it's a thing that it's close to my heart. But also, I have 2 dogs of my own, and I think that everybody needs a little best friend. So if you're looking, you just let me know.
No doubt. I got a little furry baby of my own. I love her to death. So she's like my kid. But
Yeah.
that's some good stuff. And I saw, like I said, it's like you're a champion in the ring, outside the ring, just doing whatever you do. You got a lot of stuff going on. Actress, doing everything. So I can't say enough here from Off the Top Rope. Definitely proud of you. And I got to say, man, just goosebumps thinking about all the stuff you got coming ahead. So
Cool
but I
stuff.
just want to say thanks for coming on the show. And Rebecca, the last question of all, from 1 to 10. Would you ever come back on Off the Top Rope again?
Oh, definitely. We'll do this again soon.
Really appreciate it. And I'll say first and foremost, like I said, God bless. Good luck with what you're doing. Keep hitting people with that kendo stick, and hey, keep the title reign going. So, and like I said, and safe travels and everything, and wrestling, and what you're doing, flying for your job.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having me.
Everybody, the one and only, of course, like I said, global fighting champion. She is the one, the only. She has that kendo stick, of course. Rebecca Scott was my line. Yes, here on Off the Top Rope. I'm your boy Ty Asbury. Have a great night. And as I always say, love yourselves, love God. God bless. We're out here. Good night, everybody.
The Ropes Media. Tyrone Asbury.